As featured in some of my recent videos, my sewing machine is kind of on the fritz. I ended up buying a new one, mostly because I wasn't sure if the repair would be ready in time for me to take it on vacation, and I wanted to take it on vacation with me. I'm not exactly an impulsive sewing machine purchaser. I had that last sewing machine for 11 years. I'm still not getting rid of it. 11 years? 14 years. 50? A long time. Point being, I'm still keeping it. I'm just going to repair it. It'll be like my backup sewing machine. I've actually been looking at getting a new machine for a while. Looked at some reviews. Already had in mind the machine that I wanted. It just wasn't going to be something I got now. But then it was. But I figured I would make this video and tell you a little bit about it. I've had some time to kind of mess with some things and give you my full opinion on it. We're going to do some pros and cons, and then I will let you know my takeaways from it. We're going to start with the cons, because when I search for reviews, I search most critical first. So what I did was I looked at the reviews online, and this is specifically addressing the things that I read in those bad reviews. Starting with the case. It says it comes with a case. Here it is. This does not clip on. It doesn't form any kind of seal. You have to grab the handle of the sewing machine through here. You have to remove the thread on the top in order to put this over top. So I can't really use it as a dust cover either, but it is literally just a piece of plastic. Look, it's got styrofoam inside. I would not call this a case. And there was a review that I read where the woman was very angry because she specifically was looking for a sewing machine with a case. I'd be mad too. That's really dumb. I personally don't need a case. My last one didn't have a case. I don't take it a lot of places. And when I do, it's not a huge deal if it doesn't have a case. I do wish I could keep it threaded though. That's kind of a bummer. Maybe I just would go without it. It isn't like it's easy to tuck the foot in there and then put that cover on top. The whole thing's shoddy. There is a threader on this machine. That's something else that I saw in a lot of reviews as a bad aspect of it. Can attest, I've never used a threader before, but holy hell, it was easier to thread the needle. It was so difficult, and I couldn't even see the little hook that was supposed to come out and pull it in. I couldn't line it up because I couldn't even see it. It was harder than just threading a needle. I thought I was doing it wrong. I did it like 100 times before I got it to work. So yes, if you're looking for this machine because of the threader, don't. It's pretty bad. Another thing I saw on bad reviews was skipped stitches. I personally have not had this problem. I've tried a few of the different stitch offerings and haven't come across any skipped stitches. Quilting templates. One of the reviews I read said quilting templates, it can't use them. I'm not a quilter. I really don't even understand what this means. I do know that this is kind of marketed toward quilters, like it has an extended table here to make it easier for quilters. But something to keep in mind if you are a quilter and you use templates, that apparently it can't use them. Bear that in mind if you use quilting templates. So I did a little bit of digging into this so that I could give you a better answer, and it looks like it might be a Brother issue at large, and Brother machines just don't have a lot of compatible quilting templates. There are instructions on how to do free motion quilting, so if you are a quilter and you don't necessarily use templates, this could still be a good machine for you. But just bear in mind that it doesn't look like there's any compatible quilting templates for this particular machine, and not really many for Brothers as a whole. Buttonhole stitch was something else I saw on quite a few reviews, and maybe my standards are just low. I did a couple test ones. Here's the regular, and then I did one that was kind of a keyhole. That one didn't quite line up, but overall I'm not unhappy with the quality of the buttonhole. I just did those two. I don't think they look bad. I will say, though, that because the buttonhole stitch is very automated, so my machine, you set it to the one setting, you did along the side, changed the setting, did along the back, changed the setting again, did the other side, changed it, did across the front. Because this machine, you just put it on and it does the whole buttonhole for you. If you are somebody that uses the buttonhole stitch for other things, you're not going to be able to. You don't have the same control that you did on the older machines where you had to physically do the shape of the buttonhole. That can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. It all depends on if you use it for anything else. And I did, but I don't remember what it was. I just remember that I felt so clever for using the buttonhole stitch for whatever it was I was doing. But if I come across it again, I can't on this machine. Oh well. One of the reviews said it was noisy. What? I don't know what they're talking about. All I can think is that they got a dud because this is the quietest machine that I own in my house. I lost for words on that one. And another big complaint was customer service. I have no experience with that, so I can't really say firsthand, but there were a lot of people complaining about it, and I didn't see anybody say anything good about it. So something to consider. You might not be able to get a hold of the manufacturer's customer service if there's something wrong with your machine. And then just a couple of things that I noticed personally. You can't unthread it without snipping the thread up here and pulling it through. You can't pull the thread backwards. Listen, I know that that's the way you're supposed to do it. However, I just feel that it's wasteful, and I hate it. So especially because you have to take the thread off every time you use the case, I have a length of thread like this that I gotta throw away every single time. And that's just ridiculous to me. But I get it. I get it. You're not supposed to pull the thread backwards. It's only supposed to go forward and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. This machine makes you do it that way. Another thing that's, I don't know, not really a con, I guess, just something I need to get used to, is the back stitch is a button. I'm used to holding the thing down and using the pedal. This is just a button that you press, and it's a lot slower than what I'm used to. I'm used to it going the speed of the sewing machine. I guess that's more of an adjustment thing than a con. I don't know. Moving on to the pros. So this machine boasts 165 stitches, and I'm going to be honest, I thought that was just going to be different stitch lengths of maybe 60 different stitches, which is already impressive, but it isn't. You get all your different stitch lengths too. This is genuinely 165 different stitches. It has all of your basic straight, zigzag, blind hem, stretch, all of those stitches. It also has like embroidery edging stitches. It has monograms that you can do. Here, I did some. Guys are gonna see my awesome work. There's some edging ones I did, some little leaves I thought were cute, and then I did some monogramming. My first F didn't turn out. See? It's because I didn't have the thread in the right spot. There's the other one. But I think that is really cool, especially for me, somebody who will probably never be able to afford an embroidery machine. Now I have this, and I can still do a lot of cool stuff without actually having talent or money. And I'm really happy about that. So then each stitch that you want to be a different length, you can change it here. You can change length, you can change width. If it's like a zigzag, it'll tell you which letter foot you should have on your machine to do that stitch. It'll circle what is the optimal size stitch, which, I mean, it doesn't know if you're basting and you put it the longest length, but it just shows you like what its default is. It's really handy. Being able to change the stitch length to a proper basting stitch has been a game changer for me, because I just put together a dress when I was on vacation and I was able to put basting stitches in if it didn't work, or even if it did and I needed to pull it out, it was just gone. I think I would have done a lot more basting with a lot more of my projects if I could do it on my machine, but the fact that I had to do it by hand, it just took way too long. It is so smooth, even, and quiet. Like I said, I don't know what that other person was talking about. I think their specific machine must have had something wrong with it, because it is so quiet. So quiet. And it also has speed settings, so if I know that I need to be super slow, I can put it on super slow. If I can go wicked fast, I can put it on wicked fast. And your pedal still has the adjustment, so if you have it on wicked fast and you want to go slow, you just press it a little, just like with the other machine. But with the other machine, if your foot's feeling a little saucy and pushes a little bit too hard, you're SOL. Where this, you can put a brake system on it so that you don't mess up your project by hitting the pedal too hard. The needle always starts and ends in a down position. So when you have your fabric in here, put it under, you just hit this button, it'll go down in the fabric. When you finish, it'll finish in the fabric. It took a little getting used to, but this is really handy. That's usually where I want it to end up anyway. So now I don't have to worry about, stopping at the right time and then turning until I get to that point. It's just going to automatically end with the needle in it. Good idea. The feed dogs on this thing are perfection. I was working with stretch fabric and it didn't get bunched up or caught. It didn't stretch out the material, and I wasn't using the proper foot or needle. That just shows how awesome it is that it's going to overcome the shortcomings that I thrust upon it. Overall, I cannot say enough good things about this machine. The one that I had was a really good one for a beginner. I wouldn't suggest this one for a beginner. If you are looking for a beginner sewing machine, the one that I had was... I'll put the model over here. They still sell it. So, they don't actually sell it anymore. I'm not sure why I thought that. You can find new and used ones secondhand. I'm a little annoyed at the price difference, though. Like, this one is $90 new in the box, and this one is $330, and they're the same machine. This one just added the word vintage to the listing. This one was a little over $200, so it's a little bit more of an investment, but still not thousands of dollars. I think, especially for the money, like, this just feels so fancy. And I love sewing on it so much. It just really made me feel like sometimes it is the machine. I'm glad that I had my last sewing machine to learn on and get to the point where I'm at. And I'm also glad that I have this machine now so that I can do my projects and have to worry a little bit less about stupid little things like fabric getting caught in the feed dogs, or thread breaking mysteriously, or my tension just randomly changing. I'm happy that I was able to get a new one. I'm happy that I was able to share it with you. I did look up articles first to kind of get an idea of what would be a good option for me, and of the 6 review articles that I read, 5 of them had this machine as their number 1. The 6th one didn't really have like a number 1, number 2. They had most budget friendly, and then their like top pick, which was an $800 Janome. And then they had one that was if you can get 2, and it was an industrial sewing machine that was around $2,000. Their budget friendly option was roughly the same amount as this one. I don't think a little over $200 is budget friendly, but maybe we just all have different budgets. I don't know. Certainly up against an $800 machine, $200 is looking pretty good. But that machine that they had for most budget friendly was number 2 on the other reviews that I saw, I think on all of them. And it is one that I've seen a couple of YouTubers that I know that just got new machines. That's the one they got. And it is This one, it's a Singer Heavy Duty. Those YouTubers are looking to do like costumey stuff, like a little bit thicker, a little bit more than just fabric. I wasn't too worried about that yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If we get to it, who knows. But the fact that this one was the top of 5 out of 6 was really impressive to me. I don't know that that's ever happened, and that's usually how I research things to find out what I'm going to buy. So that's all I got for ya. Hope you figured some stuff out for yourself by watching this video. If you were thinking about getting this sewing machine, I hope that this video kinda helped you decide whether or not it's right for you. If you would like to see aesthetic sewing content featuring this machine, and me, of course, please subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you have this machine, what you think of yours, any troubles that you had. Help other people out by just putting it all down in the comments. Like, love, hate. We'll spill all the tea. Until next time.